Welcome back to Silver Rooster. I'm Stefan.
I'm Dylan.
We're playing Super Mario Sunshine. I wish I lined myself up better, but here we go. Hooray! Here we go! Dylan.
Yes.
Tell me a story of your childhood.
Okay. Well. Would you like to hear about the encounter that I have had with ghosts and otherworldly spirits?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, I have heard no stories of you as a child, so
okay,
I would love to hear anything you can tell me.
I have two stories. One was in my own home, and one was at my uncle's home, which was like literally nice.
I know, right? I was like, I jumped too soon, but I still made it. I forgot to reset the timer.
That's okay.
I got this.
I figured you could have left it. We would have just gone to 22.
This episode might be a minute longer.
Okay.
Than usual now.
Yeah, the one story is at my own house, and the other story was at my uncle's house, which was literally like the house from Amityville Horror. The Rocket! Rocket! The Rockettes. Yeah, so I'll let you decide. Uncle story or my own story.
Okay, well, you made the uncle story sound more interesting.
Okay. So, the house that he had, I don't know much about like the history of it, but I know that he got that house a lot cheaper than like what it was actually worth for reasons. And what's the best way to describe it? It would be quaint and homey if it wasn't so terrifying.
It would be quaint and homey if it wasn't straight from the abyss.
Yeah. Like, the basement had like 20 steps to go down, and it was like a rickety basement. Like, I'm pretty sure it was missing one step. To the point where, like, if you turned the lights off and looked down into it, it was like looking down like into an abyss.
Okay, I can't do what he was doing and focus my twist enough to get it. Well, whatever.
Okay.
Sorry, continue.
And just the layout of the house was really strange. It had 3 rooms, like a main living room area, that like opened up into a kitchen, and 2 bedrooms, 1 major bedroom and 1 side bedroom. And like the biggest thing that I remember is that no matter where you were in the house, as soon as like you crossed through a threshold into the house, it was just like this feeling of like, oh, I don't like being here.
This is not where I thought it was.
Oh, I don't like being in this house.
This is not what I thought this was going to be.
Yeah, no, you're dead.
Says you.
Yeah. No!
I can't use it!
What is it about to say?
What
like,
if I did?
No!
What if I did? Would you have been impressed?
I would have been very upset. Okay, but back to the story. So, I stayed over his house a grand total of 2 times. The first time, it was okay. Nothing weird ended up happening. But the second time, Now, I can't say for 100%, like, if I'm sure that whatever... That's stupid. I can't say for, like, 100% if I didn't just, like, dream it all up or whatever.
I just skipped the whole thing.
I was there. I didn't realize we were sequence break. Like I can't say for certain if I didn't just like dream of the entire event, but it was around midnight, and everyone else had already gone to bed. I was like, I want to say like 11 or 12 at the time, so I was like, you know, like I'm an adult. I can stay up late. Nobody's gonna care. It's awesome.
Turns out everyone cared.
Yeah. But it was like midnight. And, like, I still had that, like, feeling of the house where it's like, oh, I don't really like being in this house whatsoever.
Did it really just transition me back to the square?
And, like, I felt like I fell asleep, but I also felt like I was still very much awake. So I got up, I was like on the couch in their living room. I got up and like, you know, the Mandela effect.
Yes.
Okay, so it was like that, where it was still like the same house, but it was different. So like instead of it just like open, so like the room was like if it were facing like north, east, and west. To the north was like the smaller room. To the west was the larger room, and to the east was the bathroom. The portion that was the bathroom, instead of like being an actual bathroom, was like a hallway. And I'm pretty sure, like, looking back on it now, that I was probably like just having a really bad nightmare or something, but...
But you were a cool kid and we're staying up late.
Yeah. So I had to go to the bathroom, so I got up and I went towards the bathroom, but it opened up into that hallway. So... the hallway, from my memory, was the same kind of wallpaper that they had, and it was like diamonds halfway up, and then stripes the rest of the way. It was kind of ugly. And
Real quick, sorry.
Go ahead.
Where's the level you want to do? That we were talking about starting this episode with? Because I thought it was through that pipe, but I was wrong.
I thought it was the one on top of the Shine Sprite, the big giant Shine Sprite.
Isn't that like an entire level?
Yeah, I thought that's
Where's the
what
pachinko machine?
Where is the pachinko machine?
I don't know.
That's
All
why
right.
I'm asking you.
Guess we're going back to the hotel.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember where the pachinko machine is.
I guess we'll figure that out later.
Okay.
Huh.
Weird. Okay. But yeah, the hallway opened up into like an actual bathroom. So I was like using the bathroom, but like I began to hear something like muttering.
Okay.
And I opened.
What was it all like?
No, it wasn't my own name or
Come to
anything
me.
like that. It was more of just like, like somebody muttering themselves. Like, have you ever gotten like upset and you're just like, piece of, I'm just gonna
Stupid.
It was something like that.
Beer. Go on.
Beer. So, I opened up, after taking care of my business, I opened up the bathroom and it wasn't the hallway anymore, it was back to the regular bathroom. Where it's just like opened up into the, the 3 rooms. And I heard the muttering from, if it was like, still that north, east, and west, it was coming from the north room, which was the smaller of the 2 rooms. Where, my, cousin had her room. So I'm like, okay, she's awake. That's pretty weird. It's midnight. She's usually out by like 10. And like at this point, it was like, I don't know. Have you ever had like moments of like pure fear where like your fight or flight like utterly kicks in?
I don't think I've ever experienced that.
Okay, yeah. I've had that 3 or 4 times in my life.
Dang.
Where like it sucks. Yeah.
I guess I didn't lead a very exciting life, Dylan.
No, it's okay. It just means you led a life that wasn't absolutely terrifying.
Oh!
But I like...
Oh.
Okay. I opened the door that
Stop
led to
touching
her bedroom, and... I'm trying to think of like the best way to describe it without making it like weird, I guess.
Make it weird.
So it was like an old man crouching at like the side of her bed,
Dang it.
and I'm obviously like, oh, okay, that's
You're like, huh?
neat. Yeah. Huh. Neat. No, I was scared.
You were like freaked out because some
Absolutely.
dude was standing. Oh, some elderly man was standing over your cousin's bed.
Yes, I was scared pretty much to where I wanted to talk, but I couldn't.
Okay, I've had dreams where something like that happened.
Okay, so you know that feeling of like can't talk.
Dang, what the hell?
Wow, you perfectly murdered him, so
And
that
he murdered me, so
Yeah.
that he would hurt me.
yeah.
Wow, that was the last
Oh,
life.
no.
How about that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's cool. I'll just.
But like, I
It's not the worst case scenario.
couldn't make sound, but I guess I squeaked enough for him to like turn around, and it wasn't like I didn't see him turn around, but it just ended up to where I was like, he's not facing me, now he's facing me, and like, I can like, if I think back hard enough, I can still like kind of see it, where it was like, old dude, open shirt, and like black, like, you know, squid ink.
Okay, and like, what happened when he looked at you?
I freaked the f out.
And then what?
Like,
Did you wake your cousin in any way, or what?
no, and it just
You
ended-
left her asleep.
Why, it was not. Don't think of it like that. Where it was like, you know, I left her asleep, but like I shut the door as like quickly as I could because I was like literally in fear for my life. I slammed the door shut and like.
Bye, cousin.
Kinda, yeah. It seems kind of
Oh,
messed
wow.
up, but
You left your cousin to die. No, I'm just
it was fine. But like,
It was fine. I always hated her.
Yeah.
Whoa, Dylan.
Don't hate, man. Appreciate. I shut the door and then like I went and
Oh.
it's like fuzzy after that. Where I know I did stuff, like I moved things around, but I don't remember what. So it just ended up to where, like, the next thing that I properly remember is, like, waking up in, like, the armchair in my uncle's room.
Melon!
Melon! How could you? And, like, that's the last thing that I remember of it, except for that guy. So, like, I immediately, like, oh my god.
What if it was just your uncle?
It was no.
Checking on his like daughter sleeping, like, oh, I hope she's sleeping all right. She's been having night terrors lately.
Oh,
Is that Dylan standing at the door for some reason?
right? Like, why is...
What the hell is Dylan doing up so late?
Yeah.
And why is he just staring at me, squeaking?
My uncle is, I think he's, like, currently, 37.
Uh-oh. I
So
turned
at
the camera in a weird way and it didn't help me.
Yeah, no. At, like, the time, I think he was, like, 27. The dude had to be, like a grandfather age. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Sure. Don't
So
suppose
I
your
knew it
grandfather
wasn't
was
him.
staying at the house.
I absolutely knew that wasn't him. And, like, considering how I felt in that house, like, they even had, like, this little tiny baby grand piano in their basement. Like, I wish I was making this part up. They had a little tiny baby grand piano in their
Dang it. I wanted to be cool and go bam, bam, but it turns out that's not a control you can do.
No.
You have to keep the momentum in the direction you're going.
Yeah.
Who would have thought a Mario game would make that detail?
They had, like, a little plinky grand
All
piano
of
in
them.
their basement that they would, like,
Just let me do it the cool way for once.
all the keys worked on it, but, like, I could tell, like, some of the keys were out of tune. So it just completely played into, like, that power fantasy of, like, this house, things are not right here.
Turns out your uncle intentionally left it out of tune for that very reason.
I certainly hope so. Because, like, I tend to be more grounded and stuff than, like, you know, Kara or any of the other friends that we keep around. Kara mostly so, because, you know, her entire family is about that stuff. I mean, you heard the thing about her grandfather, right?
Probably not.
He was a like ghost hunter, folklore analyst. He's one of the people that discovered the motorcycle ghost that Ohio's kind of like famous for.
I'd like to think that we're famous for it, but I've never heard of it.
No?
Nope.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, we'll try. I was hoping to get through this at the end of this episode, but I guess we'll have to continue in the next one to talk about this one.
Okay.
Hope you
but
join
that's
us
the
there.
end of the first story.
Okay. Hope you join us for the next episode. Love you, mean it, Click.
Okay.
You
sorry.
made me think of a story when you told me the part where it was a dream. So I was like, I'll tell him after it's over. But I guess I didn't get to this episode. So we'll see if we get to that in the next one.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to it. I mean, we have literally how many episodes we can use.